to the Discord.
It's just sad that you never can play these.
Oh yeah, the games. Yeah, I know. City talk with Raben. It's on. There we go. Okay, so and I won't be replying to chat that much, but yeah. Hello, Mr. King. Welcome to the stream. So I guess it's time to say hello.
Hello
to the people, and I will.
Hello, the people. I don't know. You will have to tell me how many people are there. With how many people do you regularly talk on your streams?
A handful, not very many, but yeah.
I would like to stream so much more than I do because but my internet is just.
Oh yeah. Those internet troubles you talked about, they would absolutely 100% have just.
Yeah, the problem is that my upload rate is 2 point something.
No.
And the good thing is that it might change this month.
Oh,
and,
fingers crossed.
In the years to come, it might even get better because this house might get a direct fiber connection, and that would be so nice.
Oh yeah. That would be, yeah. Slow internet is kind of.
Yeah. It's just.
It's kind of horrible, to be honest.
The thing is that I hope that in the next days I can get and activate the vectoring something, and then I will have at least 40 up.
Ooh, no, that's something quite different. Why am I carrying around a ton of ice?
I don't know.
Let me just hide that in the couch by the fireplace. There, ice hidden. And yes, the fireplace is actually functional because I had to make a functional fireplace. So, anyway, let's see how it's. Let's just turn on the fireplace because it's not no oxygen here, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a fireplace.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Anyway, I see that there are 5 people watching us. Hello, the 5 people.
Hello.
So maybe we should get to it then, because today I am so lucky that I have with me here in Pride Station the honored Rabenschild, a man I greatly I'm not afraid to say this, a man I greatly admire and respect. Because you have played an insane amount of games for, or at least Space Engineers for so long, and you have just been going and going and going, even when you lost everything.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And as I have said before, but I will do it again, and I don't feel ashamed of this much. I like your voice.
That's something I usually hear from Americans. Because I talked to an American and he said the Americans have this great appreciation for accents.
Okay.
So you should hear the same all the time.
No, I think actually about 0 people have said something about my accent. So wait a minute.
Then I'm lucky.
So yeah, well, your voice is way better than mine. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so let's get down and dirty. If anybody's wondering, this couch is not something you build with block destruction on, because it will explode.
if you sit down and this thing stays in place, I will be okay.
It's pretty. It's working.
You
Okay.
lost your suit.
Of course I did, because this game. Let me just set up the
Yes.
spectator camera.
Space engineer.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that have been liking playing Space Engineers to having an abusive relationship, and I'm not entirely disagreeing with them.
But it's pure masochism.
Well, I am absolutely not a pure masochist, but well,
Yeah, but that's how that works. To play space engineers, you have to be have to at least a bit of that, and then accept that you will get punched and punched and punched again by the game.
Oh yeah.
You will have to stand up again and say, "I like this."
Yes. So anyway.
So you wanted me, the one of the least, and I will say political YouTuber here, and ask me about. You have some questions about this
Yes.
Pride Month. Is it coming up? I'm sorry for being completely not knowing. It is June?
Yes.
June is Pride Month. Okay.
June is Pride Month.
And I'm informed in the right way.
Yes, you are. But yeah, and one of the well, there are many reasons why I want to do here. One is that you are a pillar of the community. You are very much you contribute a lot, you do a lot, and your voice gets heard. And also, one of the things that I really stress about all of this is it's not a political issue. People try to make it a political issue, but it's so not a political issue.
And yeah, I'm trying to, this political is more a word. I wanted to say that political might not be the right word here, but it's I'm usually trying to be really
Careful.
Usually I'm trying to stay away from that's so wrong to say, but from kind of controversial issues. I usually don't discuss any political stuff or things like that in my series, because I usually want to stay away from that. I had that with Pampered Duchess, that she has also this drive to fight for her in her case it was feminists talking points. I don't, and the problem is I really try to stay away from it.
Yeah, I get it, and I believe it or not, I actually try to stay away from most of this kind of stuff on stream, because politics is all around us, and most of it is far better kept, in my opinion, kept away from the community. So
for me it's there's a lot better people to discuss things like that, in my opinion.
Well, I think you're selling yourself short there.
That's and the next thing for me is always, I come to YouTube most of the time to get away from problems.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of want to provide. And the it's funny how the good thing for me is that my community is relatively accepting of that. I have one person that sometimes shows up on live streams that wants to always discuss political opinions with me, and I always have to say, no, that is not happening.
No.
And it's a bit weird. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to derail your train, because I will happily talk talk with you about
Well,
all your
no.
questions and all that stuff.
I think that you actually uh, touched on a couple of the questions we had here. So yeah, I'll just go through the obligatory introduction here.
Yes, hello, I'm Rabenschild, and I'm your host of Rabenschild's Survival Adventures in Space Engineers, and I'm surviving in Space Engineers now for a few years. Um, I'm running close to 700 episodes, and the fun part is you say I am a pillar of the community. I myself feel uh, I'm it's funny how many people have seen my stuff and how many people say, yeah, definitely I saw some of your videos, even big YouTubers, but I'm so small in comparison to other people that are negative, for example, and get subscribers over subscribers, and
Yeah,
other people steal content and have more subscribers than me. And I'm trying to just be my little survival YouTuber, and nobody watches me. It's so
I watch you, Rabenschild. I would.
no,
It sounds like you need
everything's
a
fine.
hug.
No, it's a good thing
I
because
just want to do my thing, and nobody likes me.
no, the thing is my community is so small and so good that um, I don't really know how I would deal with more people. I will at one point, I hope I will deal with more people, but at the moment the whole thing sounds scary to me, to have, don't know, 20,000 subscribers and don't know, maybe more people watching my videos and more people criticize and all that stuff. I don't know if I could really deal with that, but I can only hope that at one point that that becomes a reality.
Yeah.
So maybe I should be more political and swear a lot and scream all the time, and everybody else.
Yeah. Feel free not to, though.
No, it's okay.
That's one of the things I really like with you. You do your own thing, and I can very much respect that. I really like that. I just posted the link to your YouTube channel in the chat so that people will find you and can go discover how Space Engineers was, what, 5 years ago?
I had recently someone that watched a lot of my older videos and commented on all the older videos. It was so nice to see someone that got into that and then said, yeah, maybe try this and maybe try that. And
Oh, that's.
I at one point had to say, I don't want to curb your enthusiasm, but I don't know, I just want to inform you that your wishes might not come true because the videos are so old and I'm in the fourth or fifth iteration of my world, and I don't want to have you feel left out just because you made all these good
Oh.
it's it was nice. It was a good thing. I loved that, and he didn't stop. So I'm okay.
Yeah, I can do the same. So yeah, but yeah, I think we are very much into the first to try to keep this somewhat by the book about who Rabenschild is. You know, to ask a simple question: who are you?
That's the simplest question you can ask of a person. Who are you? And then have someone answer that on his own accords. It's so hard to answer, to just say I don't know, how would I define myself? There's so much and so little that I wouldn't say yeah, I'm trying my best on YouTube. I'm trying to do my best in my work. I hopefully, and that's a question you would have to ask my wife. I'm doing my best in my marriage, and I hope my parents are proud of me. That's something. That's the only things I could say there. Um, I usually don't like talking about myself.
Nope.
I'm very different on YouTube when it comes to being myself. On I'm in my personal life, I'm a lot louder and a lot swearier than on YouTube. I like to express my opinions in reality a lot more than I like to do it
Yep.
on YouTube, and my opinions are not always the nicest ones. So I'm I'm that's the thing. When it comes to I don't know. That's really hard to answer
Yeah.
because again,
Oh, yeah.
as the figure Rabenschild, I'm the clean, hopefully family friendly YouTuber that tries to not swear, that tries to engage his audience with laid back content, and in reality, I'm different. If I go out and I have discussions with friends, then my opinions are yeah. I like to express my opinions there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not an out at the moment, not a very outgoing person, but usually again I'm very much different from YouTube. That's one thing that I would say.
Okay, fair. That's fair enough. I can relate very much to that, even though, yeah. Yeah. Because you make your own person in here, and I think that actually leads us directly into the second question. So, which is why you game, and what games you play is kind of fun to know, but the whys of why you game is quite interesting.
Why do I game is I think it's the answer for a lot of people. I'm trying to get away from things, and gaming that doesn't sound completely healthy, but that's the way I deal with stress in real life. That's how I deal with I don't know. It's getting out into a different world and doing stuff that I'm normally not able to do is a thing that helps me cope with real world problems because I can get away from them and then address them. Yeah, when I have calmed down or when I don't know. I don't smoke, I don't drink a lot, and I don't take any drugs. For me, uh, it's
Gaming is your
it's gaming that gives me a bit of stress relief. That says, okay, now is your time to switch off the rest of the world. And the good thing is, at the moment, I still can do that. I don't have any kids, for example, so at the moment, I'm still able to do that without neglecting things too much.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe at one point that changes, but yeah, that's how that works for me. What games do I play? I'm the games I play at the moment is Space Engineers, and I play a lot of Fallout 4.
Ooh.
I'm a big Fallout fan and played every game in the series until now. I don't count the or I never had a console, so everything on console I can't count, and the the Fallout Tactics games were never a thing for me. So I played the RPGs, let's say it that way.
Yeah.
And, Fallout 4, for some reason, I know people, especially the Fallout community itself, hates a lot on Fallout 4. For me, it was a great game. For me, it's a great way to just, don't know, go out there and shoot something. And
Nothing wrong with that.
and then come back and maybe build a bit on one of your settlements, or make some smaller quests that are still open or something like that. Otherwise, I'm trying out a lot of stuff. Played a lot of 7 Days to Die in the last few months. I'm a big fan normally of all science fiction-y stuff.
Mm.
So when it comes to stuff like that, for example, I recommend greatly Oxygen Not Included if you like strategy and quirky little persons that build your base. Oxygen Not Included is a great game. Is still in early access, but is relatively regularly updated.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't have any sponsoring with them, and what else do I play? I think I said Space Engineers. Right?
Well, since we are meeting in Space Engineers and have been talking a ton about Space Engineers, that's maybe a little given.
That could be a given, yeah, and that's I'm making content for Space Engineer.
Yeah.
But although I have to admit, that I have, I think, more hours in Fallout 4 than in Space Engine.
Wow.
I cannot wait for the 10th of June, so when Bethesda announces what is Fallout 76, and when I can get my hands on it. We will have to see how this all works out.
Yeah. I'm actually I saw that they are going to release something, and I'm super excited about that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will be one of the usual art, but I can't wait for that. I'm doing the same that I'm doing with Fallout 4. There's a whole community of YouTubers out there that make speculation videos about it and speculate their heads off about a game that there's no information out there yet except one trailer and some leaks in leaks, air quotes,
from massive brackets,
from some persons, and now they are speculating their heads off, and it's the community is in the Fallout community is in uproar about that, because it will be the worst game that they have ever done. And already it's
well, then
the hype is real.
Yeah, the hype train.
Steamrolling down the hill without any brakes. It will be great to see what comes out in a week and what happens then if the community clashes in uproar and goes into full-on civil war about.
Well, knowing the gaming community,
just the Fallout community. The gaming community is completely different. The Fallout community on Reddit.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I think we actually have stumbled upon the third question now, because since the community was mentioned and also Civil War, which break out once every 2 weeks or so. Uh, but what is your impression of the gaming community with the topic of diversity and tolerance in mind? Just to,
The thing is that I only see my part of the gaming community.
Of course,
And,
of course.
You have one question in there that will give me a bit of a problem to answer. But the diversity and tolerance. The thing is that the part of the gaming community that I'm involved with, there is no big talk about diversity and tolerance. The gaming community in a lot of parts is a pretty anonymous mess that if you don't see the on each end, if you don't see the loud minority end, and that's usually where I stay away from, then the community is relatively, I can't tell how many people are gay, how many people are Black, Asian.
No.
It's a hard thing. The thing is, I think the next question, where you ask if it's simpler to just not talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have to say, it's the way it works for me. I don't ask.
Yeah.
It doesn't it doesn't interest me who loves whom. If you want to tell me, then I have the information. I don't. If you are part of my community, I can be happy for you, but it in reality, I'm not involved with it.
No, I hear it.
I'm far away from you, and for me, it's the thing that I don't ask anybody. If someone comes and jumps into my face with it, then yeah, okay, but I don't care.
No.
Who you love, what's your skin color, and for me, it's not. Most of the time, I'm not even interested, because I see a comment on a video, or I see a comment on a Reddit thread or something like that, and I want to have information that's not mostly not related to that. Yeah, we had discussions, for example, in the Fallout games about is it possible to have same-sex relationships?
Oh, okay.
And the people were in uproar that you couldn't have a gay couple in the beginning, but later in the game you could take whoever you wanted to have, except the robots and the super mutant or something like that. And for me, that's completely okay. So I don't care. And the problem that I have sometimes with that, I don't really want to know love. Sometimes makes people suspect me being homophobe. I had a problem with that. Two friends of mine, or two friends, acquaintances, people from a club I was going to, had same-sex relationships and with different partners, and they didn't want to tell me because they thought I would not like that. And at the same time, a few days earlier, married my uncle, and I was happy about it wasn't a wedding at that point, because in Germany we just recently had the thing that it is now a real wedding that the people
Oh yeah,
can
yeah,
do. Before we had this partnerships
yeah. The
thing.
civil
It
union.
was
Yeah,
basically the same,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you know,
We have
this,
the same here in Norway as well. It was legalized. Gay weddings were legalized just a couple of years ago. So yeah,
and that's always the thing that for example, in my community, in my YouTube community, I never asked people about that, and I I don't even know where more come from, because I see their comments and sometimes hear their voices, and then we don't talk about that, because what
no,
what
it's
what would
irrelevant to
it
the game.
matter? What
Yeah,
would it matter to me? I will not first go and I have to know. Uh, okay, I have these and these questions, but first I have to know what's your sexual orientation, just to.
well,
And
that would make it look like you are looking for something.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't. It's for. It's the same thing where people get a lot of hate for, and I can absolutely understand this. Is this? I don't see any race.
Mm. Oh
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. That.
that's
Ooh, yeah.
that's
I'll.
just not a thing that's in any way right to say. But the thing for me is that, for me it doesn't matter who you love, as long as it is, um, how to phrase that, because we could get into discussions there, as long as it is legally okay.
Yeah,
And
between.
I go, what I mean with legally is, as long as it is age-wise okay.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are with and who you love. Because this legally you couldn't say, because there's countries out there where you get stoned if you love a guy
Yeah.
as a guy.
I think what you're trying to say, just arrest me if I'm wrong, but basically what happens between consenting adults, you don't care, you don't mind.
No, why should I?
Yeah.
I don't ask anybody. Um, the normal thing, being heterosexual, isn't even interesting to me too.
No.
So, it if it's not a communication I have with you about sexual orientation, then why would I have the need to know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing in most communities, in most gaming communities. Okay, we always have the in the community, or in the gaming community, what you see is always that there's people using slurs in various for sexual orientation, or
Oh yeah.
for race,
Yeah.
when it comes to giving other people a hard time, and that's dumb child's play. People, I'm, it's so dumb. It's so dumb, because most people, I don't know, this whole calling people faggots on the internet, and the N words,
Yep.
is it's just dumb. That's dumb, idiotic, because can't you be more creative?
Completely agree. There are so many wonderful swear words, so please. Yeah.
And it's just always this is always trying to stoop to the lowest to the lowest level. And the fun part is, sometimes if you swear, yeah, that's stooping to these levels. Sometimes it is so freeing, but on the other hand, it's so dumb. It's so dumb because, what? Why should sexual orientation be a good way to insult someone? I don't get it, because if he's a gay person and you insult him, it's I don't get it. It's something that doesn't
No, just doesn't click.
connect well with me.
No,
Go into his body parts and insult other stuff. Call him, don't know.
Well, there are a plethora of. I don't think we'll go over all the things you can call people, because that would be a very long talk.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb calling people out on their sexual orientation or assumed sexual orientation,
Yes.
on their race.
Yeah, or just
And-
say that one sexual orientation means that you are this and that,
Yeah, that's another thing.
because it really, really doesn't.
Always assuming that if you have a certain sexual orientation, you are put into a corner and say, okay, that guy is definitely like this all the time. It's so dumb. And the gaming community, again, the people should, when it comes to this, be more creative than going for that.
Yep.
It's there's so much nice stuff you can.
Oh, there are so many wonderful bad words that you can use. And this is actually but then people just say, "Oh, you're a faggot," and then completely instead of calling somebody else something bad, as far as I see it, they just downvote themselves.
By the way, just to say that to you, I'm usually not holding back when it comes. I'm normally holding back when it comes to swear words. So, but normally I'm not holding back when to all these forbidden words, these F-bombs and these N-words and all that stuff, because I'm against censoring language.
Yeah.
And so, just to let you know, I will try to not N-word this stream, because that leads to consequences, usually on Twitch, especially for guys. So.
Thank you very much. Then
Sorry,
just as a this is also going to I think to YouTube with your consent.
Yeah.
And well, this is marked as an adult stream because I can't keep my mouth shut when it comes to swear word.
The swear words, but usually
not those swear words. But I'd
the
say
as a male,
no
streamer, usually is picked up relatively fast.
Yeah, but if Clang screws me over and something I have worked on for hours explodes, I'm not going to say, "Oh dang, I'm sad now."
Oh, that's saddening to see. Yeah, I can understand that. It's hard for me on video to, if something explodes, to be as family friendly as I would like, because again, normally I am not that way. That's a thing I deliberately do for YouTube.
Yeah.
And
well, there are lots of.
I heard once the expression that people that swear a lot are a lot more trustworthy, and I'm not sure if that's right, but I usually have that feeling that people that sometimes run their mouths are in my book mostly more trustworthy than people that don't.
Yeah, well, this discussion is completely derailed, and I
Yeah,
love it.
sorry, we
No,
can
no,
go back to.
I love it, but because, well, I think it depends very much on why people swear and curse.
Yeah,
Because if they do it to be cool, that's anyway.
no,
Let's see. I think we have skipped.
we have this fourth question. By the way, I have them
We
open too, and that's
didn't
where
we?
I struggle. I told you that I
Oh,
struggle
I
with that
thought
because
you gave me a pretty awesome explanation, and you also included the fifth question about being a community leader. So,
no, I didn't, because the community leader is where I at the moment can't say anything towards, because my community is usually well behaved. So I don't, at the moment, I don't have people that. I never had a racial or a sexual slur. Is it a sexual slur? A slur in that regards on my channel. So I never had to remove any comments or anything like that. I would, if all this stuff would be worded in a way to hurt another person just for, don't know, low fun or something like that, then I definitely would do something about that, and definitely be a bit more authoritarian about that. But I don't have to. That's a good thing, and that's what a small community brings with it. That my community is relatively old, and so,
as in age, people are old.
Yeah. My target audience is a lot older than the usual 9 to 13 or something like that.
Oh yeah. I hear. But
for
maybe
now didn't have to deal with it.
no. But I think that for instance, you as you have said a couple of times that you are make an effort to be family friendly.
Yeah.
I think that actually does quite a bit in itself, because people know more about who you are, and when they enter your community, they know that okay, I have never heard him say something bad, or that and your whole nature on YouTube. Again, I don't. Apparently, you are some kind of turbo, aggressive, progressive, insane, swearing a guy a real life, and that's fine. I will respect that.
I'm not turbo aggressive, but it's turbo aggressive. I'm a lot more swearier. Let's say it that way. And usually, when it comes to opinions, I'm a bit more heated some of the times, and I have some opinions that I usually don't mean as serious as it sounds. But sometimes people are, you can't say that. Oh, I can, and I will. It's everything's fine.
All right.
That's the a community in which people just harass each other for the fun of it. That wouldn't be my community. And if it's dudes, it doesn't matter where the harassment comes from. If it's race, sexual orientation, or if you have extremely big nose or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's something I would have to deal with, just because that's not the way it should work.
No.
The community should stand together, and there can be discourse, there can be different opinions, but the opinions should always be the opinions should always be well mannered, or expressed well mannered.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. People should be able, or relative people should be relatively able to say everything that they want as long as they don't hurt other people. And if there is different opinions, then we can express that, and then people will have to deal with that on their own. So if someone comes into the community and wants to me be not an open-minded person, then I'm not the right person to watch. So
No.
although again, I'm usually not expressing my views on religion or whatsoever in my content, because again,
No.
people come to me not for that.
No. They will get it everywhere else.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think you have actually managed to skip a couple of the questions because you have answered them. Harassment? No. How should the community do?
Not in my
Excellent.
gaming community. Harassment,
No.
the usual. I have experienced harassment just
Okay.
the usual thing in school or something like that. If your shirt was not the same, so I cannot talk about. I'm a white male and I'm straight, so I'm pretty lucky when it comes to
Oh yeah.
all the stuff. So
Well, you said that you have experienced harassment, and this is kind of important. Being straight and white, which I am as well, and I'm very thankful for that, or I feel lucky.
yes, we are so great because
No, no, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, as you said, you have experienced harassment. So
the usual stuff. So if you don't wear the right shirt, but I was never harassed for a certain sexual orientation. That's something I wouldn't be able to talk about. And
of course,
the question is where do we draw the line?
Oh,
where
yeah.
is where does real harassment begin? The problem is that I'm struggling with an autoimmune disease, and don't know, a girl in my class noticed that and in air quotes harassed me for that.
Okay.
And I cannot. That went on for a few days, and then I don't know. I ignored her, and it went away. So I don't want to even call that harassment. That's the thing, because I had don't know, people in university, or people in the higher school forms that had problems because they were lesbians, or that were that had problems because they had a different skin color. And these people I think what they have to deal with is maybe that's, I think, where harassment starts. I don't know. And that's why I don't want to even say that I experienced anything like that. And that's, for me, that's good. That's a good thing.
Oh yeah, we're not. You don't win by getting most victim points.
Yes, I had the most arrested.
No, that's another type. That's just going the wrong way. So yeah. No. Let's see. Let's see here. How the community should deal with those that overstep and misbehave. That's a very important or interesting.
There's more things you can do. Who is the bad guy? That's the question. Is it a kid? Is it a 10, 12-year-old kid that maybe does it because he doesn't know better? And maybe his intentions are not even really to so is it a kid that doesn't know better, and maybe the intention, and as does he use a racial or slur in regards to sexual orientation just because he doesn't know better? Maybe it doesn't. It's not the intention to hurt this person on that level in reality.
Yeah.
Or is it the person that comes in and really hurts persons because of that?
Yeah.
I would draw a line there, and there's a lot that you can do. Misbehaving something else than hurting people really on purpose.
Oh
And
yeah.
maybe with a kid you can deal and can say, hey man, that's not as funny as you think it is.
Yeah.
And you are maybe able to explain that, and maybe you change the mind of a young person with someone that comes in and is, don't know, a racist or someone that really doesn't like gay people. I don't know how many discussions you want to have there. Go leave the community, don't come back, and in communities on the internet, you can just deal with it that way.
Oh
Can
yeah.
block the person and can not let the person back in.
Oh yeah. You can absolutely kick people.
In reality, that might.
Oh, we're not going there. Reality is way too complex.
Yeah, there could be fists involved.
Fisticuffs can be a thing. Yes, I wouldn't recommend it. But
that's the thing. You can try with someone like that too.
Oh.
Educate, talk, and to be the stronger person. Don't stoop to the same level.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
And then say, okay, you are not at the right in the right community here. I don't want you here.
Yeah.
And I hope the rest of the community doesn't want you here either. That's
Yeah.
maybe the best way to do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. It's one of my manners, and it's not always the best manner, but I'm sometimes, or most of the time, trying to get the moral high ground for myself. That's not always a good thing to do, but always try to be morally a top.
Oh yeah.
Then you might do the right thing. So if there's a bad guy, don't go to the same level. No word calling. Please go, leave the community alone, and we don't want you here, and then ignore.
Yeah.
That's maybe a good way to work with that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Take appropriate action, and then if people don't want to listen, well, fair enough. So yeah, okay. So the next one is, what, if anything, would you like to say to those that have experienced or are experiencing online harassment or bullying?
That's so hard. That's a hard question to answer, because you could always do to this. Oh, that's not real. It's just words. Don't. But for the people that experience that, it's real. It's very real. But the thing that I always have is, be better than that. Be just better than that. These people that have only the necessary. We Germans have the have the saying, if you have, that's a direct translation, the butt in your trousers, to, if you don't have the butt in your trousers to stand up to a person in reality, then you, it's a thing where people are basically don't have any. How's it called, man?
I think if you replace butt with balls for English,
It's if you don't have the balls to if you only have balls to harass people online,
Mm.
and do it from the anonymity of your computer and all that stuff. Ah, man, these it's again it's real for the people being harassed, and it's a hard thing to overcome, but don't let yourself get dragged down by people that sit behind their screens and hide behind their keyboards and can just do anything about you from there.
yeah.
um, okay, if you experience real bullying in reality, then get help,
Mm.
get other people around you,
Mm.
and you are never completely alone. Never ever completely alone. There's always people that in some way will help you. And I don't know, if it happens in school, then try to change school, try to talk to people there, and don't let yourself get made small by people that are small themselves, because again, that's the only thing where harassment comes from, harassment and bullying comes from, is the people that bully are small themselves. They experience the same thing and have only this way to deal with it. So that these persons, somebody that calls you small, that calls you fat, that calls you whatsoever,
Mm.
they have their own things, and they have their own things to deal with, and that's the only thing you should think about. They are as they're even weaker than you, because they have to, don't know, pick on other people to make them they make themselves feel better.
All right.
That's just wrong, and don't get dragged down by small people.
That's a really nice answer there. I like it.
I don't know. It's
Well,
the thing is, again, the thing is, I can only give these answers because I never really experienced stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. There's a dumb thing because I was not wearing the right shirt, but then you give an answer back and the whole thing is done. So I cannot speak from the same
perspective.
people, yeah, perspective, because I never experienced it that way, and that's a good thing for me. It's sad for other people that have to experience that, for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
And that's a good thing. That I can only go to answers like that, something, I don't know, that I heard somewhere, or something that comes to my mind. That
It's it may be it might be a cliche answer, but it's true nonetheless. That's the thing. Most people aren't alone, and I would say that if somebody is if you have a community and people are misbehaving, then ask the community, for instance.
yeah,
There will probably be somebody there that will at least listen to you, and maybe a community manager like yourself that can take a talk with if the other person is in the community saying this isn't cool.
yeah. That's the thing. If it's a community, for example, yeah, then
Yeah.
talk to other people. There are definitely people. I would say there are definitely that would help, or that would at least have a good word for you, and don't just stand aside or something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that that's how that would
Yeah.
it would go down.
So, if is there one thing that people, and with people I mean gamers, of course, should do just right now to make a better community for everybody? I know, easy question.
Again, that comes. Again, I can only see the community I'm following, that I'm in. I don't see them in any way as inclusive, but not as not inclusive. But what I would always like to have people do is, when it comes to accepting people of different races, people of different sexual orientations, or whatsoever, always ask yourself, why does it matter to you? So why does it matter to you that someone else has a certain sexual orientation or race? How does it hurt you that someone loves a man, some man loves a man, or some person's black, or whatsoever? So how does it impact you?
Yeah.
And if the answer is it doesn't, then why should you care? So
Yep.
Maybe that's the thing that people always should do. If you, again, that's the thing, that's the good thing in normal internet community, you don't see the other person.
Nope.
On the other hand, it's
Yep, I hear you.
The people, sometimes information is not needed. That's another thing that I always have, where I'm a bit an inclusive and tolerant community is in my opinion also a community that where you don't need to run around and scream at the top of your lungs what your sexual orientation is, or why it matters that you are black or white or whatsoever. That's maybe a bit controversial, but I don't need to know if you're gay, if you're black, if you're I don't need to know that. And
I think we're on to why vegans get a lot of flack.
It's CrossFitters and vegans.
Because there's this thing that they always have to tell everybody.
If you preach, if you go out and preach constantly, then you will always rile up a community. You will always the tolerantest and most inclusive community can be riled up if there's always someone preaching.
Yeah.
And again, it's so hard. It's so hard to draw lines there, because it's completely okay that someone says, "I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatsoever," and people shouldn't attack the person about that. But if someone constantly makes a fuss about what his orientation is, what his whatsoever, this is controversial because to be able to do that, but on the other hand, maybe stop preaching, go into the community and experience the community as don't know, as less preachy as possible.
Yeah.
My uncle always my uncle always had this he didn't like these really these really over the gay men. And he was a gay man himself again, but he was not a big fan of that. And if
Yeah.
I experienced I had I had I had an amazing experience we had a bar that we went to every Monday, and they had a really really queer uh, 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 not bartender, these people going around, and server
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
the server. And man, sometimes this guy was really really straining on everything because he was so open. Let's say
Yes.
it. Let's say it that
Flamboyant.
way. Yeah, flamboyant. That's that's a good thing. It was amazing how often he tried to. We had some guys in the group, and all of the guys were completely straight, and but he tried it on and on and on. And one day we had to say, "Come, please sit down. We have to talk about you with that with that over that with you now, because sorry, but stop it. We it's nice, and we always get red if you do that, but there's a point where you just have to stop
Yeah.
stop going at it, and try to always get us. That doesn't work that way. And the good thing is that if you do it that way, then there's no need for any hate or intolerance or something, because he understood that, and I think he just drove a gag too far.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was
That can happen.
maybe the problem with that.
Yeah.
That's one of the most the queerest uh, uh, encounter I ever had, ever. There is more. There's more. I'm all red if someone says to me, "Oh, you look okay," and I would like to. Sorry, I'm married to a woman. That doesn't matter anything. No, to me it does.
Yeah. It
Okay.
doesn't work that way.
I'm always getting red, and it's always nice, but
Well, as I said, I like your voice, and I'm a straight male, so,
yeah,
and not an American.
that's that was most people. I'm the typical more bear kind of guy, and it seems there's a lot of people in the gay community. At least I always run into people like the more bearish guys, and it's it's good to hear for a big and a bit overweight man to hear. I like you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the weird thing. The communities have, if you want tolerance, and if you want to have inclusivity, then there has to be compromise. and and again, there's the one end that comes in and maybe doesn't understand, and maybe doesn't know how what gay means, what don't know what all this thing is. And on the other side, there's the gay, or the how's it, the racial community. That's bullshit. The community that's, don't know, has any race related. We have to come together, and that also means that, again, the one half maybe should try to again ask themselves, what does it matter to me if the other person loves a man
Yep.
or a woman or whatsoever, or if the other person has black skin, yellow, red, orange, whatever. And the other side, maybe it's so weird. The thing, this weird preachiness we have in the world right now. So we have a lot of these very, very loud minorities, sides, and they scream and scream and scream and scream and scream and try to get themselves heard, and that's also straining, because that leads to nothing. It I think it damages more than it really makes anything better.
Yeah.
That's at least my opinion.
No, I'm thinking this is a thing I've actually experienced it myself, but with a girlfriend I had a couple of years ago, and she asked me if I was angry or bothered by something, and I said no, and then she continued asking me, and the fourth time I was angry. And it's the same when people are very much, that you have to be something or something.
Yeah, that's a thing. Don't press anything on me, and don't throw me into any corners that I might not want to be in. And just because I said something you don't like doesn't mean I think a certain way. It's so weird what is going on in the world, and it's mostly the good thing. It is I have the feeling it is mostly America. America has yeah, that sounds dumb, and I don't want to.
No, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, it's
America has this rich history of splitting itself into how's it called into these communities that hate each other with a passion. And if you are, and I talk to Americans about that's not a thing that just comes from me, and they if you are a certain way, or if you are with a certain sports team, or if you're with a certain political group, then you have to be a certain way, and the enemy in the other group is definitely in another way, and has to be in certain ways. And I think that's a thing that we see with a lot of these problems that we have right now. There is racism in the world that definitely needs to be addressed, definitely needs to be rooted out by in my opinion mostly education. I think good education, and I think good education eliminates racism pretty effectively. Although there is always some people that have good education and are still these are single, again, loud minorities, but the most people that I know, I don't know, well educated and no racists, in my opinion. And it's so it's so hard to say. I don't think that with all the screaming and all the harassment from both sides that's happening right now, I think we will not solve anything. We only make it harder and harder and harder.
Yeah. Chat reacted to the America thing, and I understand them.
How did chat react? If chat hates me now.
No, they don't. But the thing is that they impact the world much more than any other country.
Yeah, that's
That's they are, after all, the leaders of the free world. So, and
then the problem with that is, then they should now start to behave like the leader of the free world and not like a bunch of loud kids screaming about certain problems. I don't want to go to
no, let's
a country that is able to solve the problem that it has more school kids getting killed in schools this year than soldiers on the battlefield.
Yeah. So
That's a problem. That's a real problem that's not getting addressed. And the same with policemen. Sometimes I don't want to get into that and call every policeman in the US a racist, but policemen killing black people just because.
Yeah.
That's a problem. If you can be a police officer in less time in New York City than you can be a barber in New York City, that's a problem. If one police officer shoots more bullets into a person, whatever color the person had, then the whole German police force fires in 1 year.
yeah.
That's a problem. And I would like to say that the US is the leader and a cultural leader of this world, but I'm not sure if these are things we should follow. And I don't want to hate on it. I know that there is people in the US that we only see these loud minorities. That's the big problem. We don't see the people in the middle that struggle with the same dumb crap that we all struggle with.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's always the problem that I have with that the big center of everything is not shown in media and nowhere. We only see the loud racist,
Oh yeah.
the crazy gun owners that hoard 400 weapons because we need to defend ourselves from the government, and that's the only thing we see. But in reality, we have to see the stuff like school shootings and racism that's still. Why isn't the crisis in Flint, Michigan, where the people have no clean water, why is that not solved already? Because it's easier to give banks millions and billions of dollars than have the 150 million to fix the broken pipes there. And we have the same problem. We have discussions about refugees and about whatsoever in everything, and we pump 700 billion euros into banks that don't do anything with that, and then need the next 700 billion in next year or something like that. And it's so sad. It's all so sad that. Don't know. I need to concentrate more on the good stuff. That's why I usually talk about politics, because
Yeah.
it's all so sad.
It is, and wow, did we go off topic?
Yeah, sorry.
No.
I should be more prevalent. If I talk about politics, then
Well, yeah, lots of these topics actually run hand in hand, I think. Very many of them, tolerance and diversity is not. It's not a political issue, but it is. It's kind of.
It sadly is. It sadly is
For
a political issue
it is
too.
also an
Yes.
issue for politicians, but it's not in its base, I would say, a political issue. Some people try to make it political, but well,
If politics would be more accepting of certain things,
yeah,
the countries could concentrate on a lot, a lot more important things, and maybe that would get the people away from. Yeah, I don't know if I think it's also a political issue. If politics stand in the way of certain things, then that's it.
you need to get better politics. But that's not something that we can do much for, and I flat out refuse to take sides in any political, if whether it's here in Norway, in Germany, in the U.S., in China. Well, China is kind of super easy because there's just one party.
It's just one. Yeah.
So, but
If
yeah,
you don't have this opinion, then you don't have the right.
yeah,
The 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 thing is that that politics-wise, this stuff should be absolutely. We should politics-wise, we should be done with
yeah,
with gay rights. We should be done with racism.
Yep.
We should politics-wise, this all should be done for ages now.
Yep.
And sadly, that didn't happen.
no,
One thing people should stop doing, I have next on the list, and I think we answered. I answered it a bit.
quite a few answers, quite a few times, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that you said that if it doesn't matter to you and it might matter to others, then maybe don't. That's actually a really good answer.
It's.
I think at least. So. And also, don't be.
It's always this. It's always this thing about, again, if it doesn't hurt you, then don't think you have to do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. And lastly, just to round off on a more happy note, or maybe a sad note, I don't know.
and we're again where everything it's so. That's so hard. Again, that's this. Find something that you can. Something funny. I would press something out now. That would be.
Just feel free to say anything. I don't have any demands.
The only thing always is people, when it comes to this Pride thing at the moment, this Pride month, try to make that every month, and man, people, stop putting your noses into things you shouldn't have any interest in. If it doesn't hurt you, then it's I can't say about that, because I don't have anything random. I wouldn't know what's interesting about me right now. That would be.
Okay, let's go for one of the stupidest things that I ever know that people actually ask about. In all seriousness, what's the color of your toothbrush?
Of my toothbrush, I have a white and light green toothbrush, and only because I couldn't stand to get the white and pink toothbrush that my wife has bought.
Well,
but you asked that. I think that's one thing you asked when we talk with Cosmic Chim.
Did I maybe?
Cosmic Chim came up with this. What's the color of your underwear?
Oh, right.
and I can only say because I'm I'm basically wearing uniform. I only have gray underwear. So for me, that's
Well,
always an easy answer.
you are kinda playing into the whole stereotypical German now, so
What? Yeah, it's more stereotypical. Not designer.
no, no, no.
I work creatively, and the thing is that at one point I studied architecture. And if you are sitting in a German architecture class at university or course at university, and that do that for a few weeks, and you can see all the colors vanish. It's funny how the people go from wearing colors to wearing just black. And I stayed with that. I just wear black, and I just have the only thing that's a bit colorful when it comes to socks, and everything else is black and gray, and I don't even have any white things.
Okay.
It's maybe it's typical German. That's always the German that you see on any American um, comedy show. These typical they wear uniforms black. I remember one sketch from SNL with Mike Myers or so, where he and another guy were Germans and were just black, skin tight clothes and listened to very crazy music. That's it's
Oh, you don't all listen to Rammstein and Kraftwerk?
I don't. I like Kraftwerk, for example. But having to listen to 23 minutes of Autobahn, that's
Yep.
one of their songs again. 23 minutes. No, that doesn't work out for me. I can't even listen to 17 minutes. And when it comes to music, I'm pretty mainstream. People would say I'm a big fan of the Foo Fighters, and I also listen to, and that's weird because I also like some electronic stuff like Daft Punk, and I can't wait for the new Gorillaz album.
Okay. There was a question from chat. Do you listen to Rundfunk Polka?
No. I think that's not even a real thing.
No, me neither. I am very. What?
That would be interesting to hear if that's a real thing. I would have to Google that. Never heard of that. I know that there are crazy. I have one guy from the old Star Squadron that sometimes comes up with songs in German. And then I have to see that the band itself is not German but Norwegian, for example.
Oh yeah.
He had one band and said, "Here, German text," and that sounds so weird. And it was a Norwegian band pretending to be very German.
Yes, that would be. I think they're called DDR. They sing dance music to German in German.
That could be the case,
and they are very much not a serious band.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure that's it. Wear brown uniforms, then you can't be serious.
Nope.
No, I'm not a big fan of German music in itself because German music has a bit of a problem. The thing is that even good German bands sing in English, and then there's only a few German bands that I can really stand, and that's weird. I have the same with German movies. I can't stand German movies. It's not possible for me. to really get into that. And people always are, oh, like, look, uh, I don't know how it's called in English. I know that it was a big hit in America, Lola Runs or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard a title that's...
Yeah, and
Oh.
it's I can't stand German movies.
That's the same. I am very skeptical about Norwegian movies. They are usually not all that.
The Scandinavians have. It's not always Norwegian, but I know that you and the Swedish are not the biggest friends, but I know that there are some really great Swedish movies, and I think there's also some Norwegian stuff. I don't know.
There is some, but you have to look for it. You really have.
There's a Scandinavian movie, and I don't called Adam's Apples, and it's a story about a neo-Nazi that gets put into a church community to rehabilitate himself. The priest is played by how's the one Bond villain, the one from Casino Royale.
I just found it on IMDb, and I have a music I have to see, because the fuck? Okay, I mean, wow, that's interesting.
I was completely, I watched the movie, and this was crazy, because you feel so sympathetic for in the course of the movie, you feel so sympathetic for the neo-Nazi that surprised me. That you can feel sympathy for a person that each morning hangs up his Hitler picture and puts his Mein Kampf on the
Yeah,
on the table.
yeah.
But you feel very, very sympathetic for him in the end of the movie, and it's.
I guess he has a kind of transformation.
Yeah. But yeah, sure. That if you would only accept him as this racist asshole, no, he has a transformation. But it's a crazy movie.
I guess so.
Some of there are great Scandinavian movies. I can stand Scandinavian movies a lot better than
The Germans.
The German movies. That's
okay.
the case. Although there is some crazy stuff coming out of your region of the world. Some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
I recently saw a study where people got people in Europe, I think, or people around the world got asked in different countries where if they think that their culture is better than other cultures.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So you know who was on top of the list.
I thought it was Pew Institute, and I am very questioning the question, because the question was, do you think that your culture is better than another culture?
Yeah.
And that's a completely meaningless question. It's like saying, do you believe that this food is better than than any other food, or not any other, but some.
No, Norwegians.
Yes, Norwegians absolutely thought that yes, their culture was better than others, but I would.
It's just such a small community.
Oh yeah.
So much money.
Yes.
That you. I don't know. Maybe you're absolutely okay in believing that you are better than everybody else.
No, but that wasn't the question.
No, yeah.
And that if that was the question, I would say no, that's not how it works.
Yeah,
I will say that there are some aspects of Norwegian culture, and the same with German culture, that is clearly better than.
Don't drag us into that. We're into clear group stuff.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We were on seventh place or something like that. So it's not like we were not very involved in believing that we are better than this and this other
But yeah,
culture. So,
but basically, there are cultures which has actual problems, and I would say that for instance, we as Europeans, as Westerners, and call me controversial, no problem. We don't believe in female circumcision. We don't do that. It's not a cultural thing, and
yeah, that's the right thing. Yes.
and that's a good thing, and that makes the Western culture better than those that do. Does that mean that in every single aspect our culture is better? Of course not. But
That's a contra that. But on the other hand, some things maybe you don't need to discuss. There was one thing, the British, when the British were sitting in India, and that might not have been a good time for India, but there was one thing. The Indians had this belief that a widow should be burned with their dead spouse.
oh yeah, yeah.
And so they burned widows on alive. And the British colonial imperialist army that was sitting there said, that's not the right thing to do. And the Indians said, but yeah, that's our culture, and we want to do that. And the British colonialists said, but in our culture, we hang people that burn other people. And so they positioned soldiers next to every place where bodies were burned, and this gladly stopped. And the thing is that the fight against female circumcision, I hope it arrives now where it needs to be. I know that one German, there's a German documentary filmer that is really involved in fighting that, and he brought that towards certain Islamic, I don't know, not priests. Priests is the
imams.
higher ups in Africa, and they condemned it. So
Yeah.
we can only hope that at one point it hopefully stops.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where you can say their culture should be, you are hurting another person. You are making the life of another person miserable. And that means that it's not only a culture thing. So we can talk about, we have this talk about Muslim women with headscarves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And not deeply burqas and how this stuff is all called. I'm not perfect in it, and there is always the discussion with people here that we should forbid that because it's demeaning towards the woman. And I talked to Muslim women that said they do that on their own.
Yeah.
And who am I? Who am I to decide if they should wear that away from them? And the discussion is on here with, but that's not right. They are getting told that by their men that suppress them, and it's a sign of oppression and all this stuff. And I can only say, yeah, but the women have to, if the woman has the same, and that were highly educated women that wore headscarves. And if a highly educated woman can't decide for herself to take it off if she really wanted it to do it, then who am I to decide that for her? And that's a big discussion. We had a monstrous discussion with a teacher, one of my friends is a teacher, and she works in a nobody else knows that, but a college or a school for people that learn certain jobs, certain occupations when it comes to and she says that she would like to forbid them to wear the headscarves because that's a sign of oppression. And that's so hard. That's so hard because if you have a woman that really just wears it for herself without getting pressured into it or something like that, then you forbid her to do that.
Yeah.
And then you are oppressing her, or you're and you don't know where to start here. It's so hard, and that's always a problem with cultures.
Yeah.
You cannot completely say this and this culture is better than this and this culture.
No, you can't. You can say that this and this practice is better, but that's a completely different topic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if it goes towards hurting other persons, then usually that's not a culture thing, in my opinion.
no, it's
Comes to right and wrong.
yeah, it's basically people using any excuse to legitimize their own, well, in my view, shortcomings. As you said, the smaller people.
Yeah, that's we had a discussion. I studied a few semesters law in university. After I went away from architecture, I went to the law school and studied a few semesters of law. And we had this course about our basic our main law thing, like the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
The main, here are laws that will never be changed and things, and where we have all this the colors of the German flag, and the first thing in our law that the body of the person and is no, I can't. It's hard to.
No problem.
There's no way to go in there and translate that in any good way. But nobody should be harmed and all.
Yeah,
that's a good thing to have as first. And the second for us is not have all the guns you you can carry. And we have somewhere in there that we don't have martial law in so we don't have any death sentences anymore in Germany.
Yeah.
And we discussed that. We discussed that, and people in this course, so future people that work in law, discussed about pedophiles or not pedophiles, but child abusers.
Oh yeah. Okay, the difference.
So, and they would like to kill them. That was the argument.
Yeah.
And I came in and said, no, people, that's here. We have this little book, and this little book says that's not possible, and we don't do this. And as much as you would like to see this, that doesn't work for us. We don't do this.
Yeah.
And a few weeks later, just for fun, I said, I would like to cane people that, for example, drive drunken.
Oh yeah.
Or I would like to whip people that steal handbags. Just to keep them out of prison. 3 whippings, and people immediately jump to that's the stuff Saudi Arabia does. You can start to hack hands. And I said, people, you went a few days ago, you said you want to kill people for that. And I didn't say that Saudi Arabia goes. It's so people always have this double standard.
People
it's
very much do. So yeah, I hear you. Anyway, I think that we have gone
far too long, and you wanted
well,
to
not far too
end the
long.
stream
I'm
4 hours ago.
well, that was quite a few hours before we started. I have been enjoying this immensely, though. Talking to a intelligent and well-spoken and much spoken, is that a word? Now it's a word. Person.
I talk too much.
No,
Don't say something like that.
I didn't say you talk too much. I just say, like a certain other person in this room, you talk a lot, and I like that. And you have a lots of opinions and everything, and that's also something I like. And you, more important than everything, you absolutely seem to have your heart in the right place.
I hope.
So,
that's always a thing. That's this whole pride thing. I was a bit afraid of that, because I don't know if I tread on anything that and say anything that might come over as wrong, and
no,
I hope I didn't.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Nobody has the feeling that I would hate on them because of the what's.
No. So anyway, I will not grind you because that would be nasty to do, and I can't do it anyway. So, but thank you very much for joining me here at Pride Station.
No problem.
And if you have the time, feel free to join at the parade next Saturday.
Next Saturday? When will it be?
Basically the whole day. The whole 24 hours. Maybe a little more.
So you will stream again?
I will stream again. There will be all sorts of fun stuff. I haven't planned exactly what we'll do. Maybe we'll just see where it goes. So, but it will be funny.
I don't make any promises.
No, that's okay.
I will definitely look into that.
Let's see.
Contact you and ask if you have a nice place for a certain engineer.
Yeah. And with that, and Over the Rainbow, sung by Judy Garland. It's the 1926, I think, recording. I will bid you, sir, a very good thank you again. And yeah, and to all of those of you that has been watching, thank you for watching. I much appreciate it. I will post this to YouTube as long as Rabenschild doesn't disagree with that.
I don't think I said anything.
No.
And, feel free.
Excellent. And I will of course post it in the Facebook community and make a lot of people angry.
Alright.
Because some people think that whatever you say, it's politics. So.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks everybody, and as always, keep on engineering.
See ya.
And